Welcome in, everybody. We are back with another live reaction of an Ava Wood interview done by Joe Lake of ISP. This comes courtesy of Connor, and I still like to picture that Connor is actually the dog, not a human, because it is so much funnier with it being a golden retriever that is causing all the headaches for Idaho and their corrupt ways. But anyway, now that ASRB, what's going on? Yeah, we made it to the afternoon. I was actually up earlier than I thought I would be. So, hey, Kawanda. I was actually up earlier than I thought I would be. I'm actually a bit surprised. Hey, Susan. Nice to see you. So, as I was saying, we got Ava Wood's interview with Joe Lake, and well, I think it was the last female. Either way, the one that he had with Bianca was absolutely very incredibly creepy. And hopefully this doesn't repeat. Oh, look at Bubbles. She got a pool. Yeah, we got a creek with water that is very likely unsanitary. And I'm not even sure if there's water in it. But either way. Anyway, let's dive right on into it. So this was done on the 8th of December. Because, 48 hours means nothing to these people.
It's December 8th, 2022. It is 1:04 p.m. ISP Detective Joe Lake with ISP Detective
William Adams.
And Will is preparing to dial.
Oh, this is a phone call.
The phone number belonging to
Wonderful. Because, again, why do things in person? Because, this isn't like a big murder investigation or anything. Jeez, oh, Pete.
Hello?
Hi, it's Detective Will Adams again. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I bet it's way sunnier and brighter down than it is up here.
I have not even opened my window.
Okay. Not gone on.
I think
I'm
so,
sure
too.
You're very right.
I agree. Yeah. So I'm here with my partner, Detective Joe Lake, and like I told you yesterday, I think that was yesterday. Sorry, my days are running together. We wanted to call you back and kind of go over, since you indicated that you were pretty close with both Xana and Kaylee. So we just wanted to go back and go over, your relationship with them, everything you knew about them, daily activities, social media stuff, whatever and then work. Just basically, as much as you know about their lives from your place in their lives, as much about them as we can get.
Okay.
So.
Hi, this is Joe. Thank you for taking our call and spending time with us. We're gonna have a lot of questions for you, and if let us know when you respond to the question. How well that is ingrained, or even
They have a lot of questions. But will it lead to anything? Well, we already know the end result, so let's see if people who are actually looking into this case find out anything interesting.
give examples. Feel free, because that just helps us to understand things better. So one thing that Will and I are working on is what's called victimology. It's the in-depth study of our victims and our survivors, for that matter, too. and we're just trying to understand them in depth. And it takes people such as yourself, that close friend, that really helps us to understand who they are, which can help us better understand who did this to them.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
All right. So I guess we'll start off how well, and we're gonna be talking about both Xana and Kaylee.
Yeah.
So when we ask you a question, just so that we can kind of keep things straight over here, and then in your mind as best you can, like if we ask about family or friends, try to think of one person first and give us what you can on them, and then move to the next person. So, does that make sense?
Yes. So I'll say like, oh, Xana this or Kaylee that. So I'll make sure that I state their names prior to me explaining what I know.
Perfect.
That is so. That phrasing is strange to me. Like, I'll just state who. Like, obviously, why does that have to be said? Oh my god, I don't know why. I don't know why that seems very weird phraseology to me.
So we'll kind of kick it off here. How much of the family members of those two did you know?
For Kaylee's family members, I did not know really any of her family members. I just knew them through conversations with Kaylee. I know that
Her what?
and she was really excited to tell me that for Kaylee's family members, I did not know really any of her family members. I just knew them through conversations with Kaylee. I know that
her little sister.
And she was really excited to tell me that. Other than that, I never got the chance to meet Kaylee's parents, Kaylee's sisters, anything like that. Whereas
Xana's sister. What? Why? Why is this redacted? This is a joke.
Frequently come and hang out with me and Xana and all of her roommates last year. So I knew through passing and through Xana, I never got the chance to meet Xana's dad.
Wouldn't that be Autumn's? I know the youngest one got pregnant very young. Apparently, we got time till they unredact this crap, or until we get to unredacted stuff. But was it Autumn that she might be talking about, not Olivia?
And then oh man, there was a question that I had for Kaylee. With Kaylee, you never met any of her family members, but she was excited about her. Do you remember regarding family? I remember yesterday you told, I believe it was you that told me that her mom wouldn't let her come home because of her hyper dog. Is that right?
I don't recall. I never said that information to you, but
Oh, wasn't there one that was? Who was the one that was pregnant at like 14? I could have sworn there was one. It might have been after Kaylee. It might have been after Kaylee was killed, but okay, so it was Autumn that was pregnant, or at least at some point at a very uncomfortably young age. Okay. But yeah, something about the dog here.
Her mom wouldn't let her come home because of her hyper dog. Is that right?
I don't recall. I never said that information to you. But
Okay, we're talking about a freaking dog. Why is that being redacted? What, is the dog a protected witness? Like, what the hell? I don't know why I paused it there, but Jesus Christ. You gotta be kidding me. They're talking about the freaking dog. This is insane. Just so you guys can see, it's still running. It's still redacted because, Lord forbid, we know anybody's names that we already know. Okay. Now we're on the same page. Okay, I got you. Remembering doesn't usually work this early in the day. What's up, Doc? Good Lord. How long is this freaking redaction? I'll tell me over here. Over 2 minutes. We're not going to get another word until 7 minutes and 25 seconds in. You have got to be kidding me. Oh my God. Over 2 minutes of redactions here. For what? They literally ended off talking about the dog. Well, yeah, Christy didn't care about anything about Kaylee. Is what I've seen with her interviews.
If we pause and it gets quiet for a second, it's because we're trying to write down some notes. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
So I apologize. Being somebody in the, I'm sure you talk on the phone quite a bit and try and take notes, but.
Oh, yes.
So you know.
Yes.
You know
Understatement of the year, Doc.
Are you good on family? Okay. So I know, because I'm checking my notes now. I know we did talk about your most recent memory, I think, of Kaylee being sad, and that was in regards to the being left out of an incident. Can you go through that and then kind of go through any other anything else like that about both Xana and Kaylee?
So Kaylee, we were supposed to go to a big formal. It was back in the spring. I believe it was sometime after March, so end of March, beginning of April. And this was when she was living at the Whites with Kate and Aaron. And the person who I was supposed to go to the formal with ended up taking someone else, and I was like, whatever, like, it is what it is. It's totally fine. And then I called Kaylee and I said, hey, are you still going? And she was like, no, like, I'm not going. And I was like, oh, okay, like, why not? And this wasn't until the next day that I got a chance to actually talk to her. So I went over to her house the next day, and the story that I got from her was she was getting ready in her room, and she asked Maddie to come over and help do her hair and makeup for her. And I think her was running a little bit behind or something, or called Kaylee and was like, are you ready to go? Like, me and your roommates are going to, I think it was Tim in Pullman. They were going to go have a few drinks at Tim before they went to the formal. And Kaylee, in typical fashion, was like, I'm not going to be ready. I don't even have my dress picked out. My hair's not done. My makeup's not done. So just forget it. Like, I'm not going. And her roommates were like, no, like, we'll wait for you. Like, how long are you going to be? And she's like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to be. So her roommates didn't wait for her and they left. And I am not sure if Jack ended up going with the group to Pullman or if he stayed home. But I went over there the next day, and that's kind of the story that she told me. And she said that she was really upset for feeling left out and that they left without her and didn't wait for her. And I said, okay, well, you can't hole yourself up in your room for 24 hours and not talking to your roommates, not going to go make food. Like, that's not healthy. So I actually, what?
I said,
Oh, and so I took Kaylee out of her room and went and talked to one of her roommates.
That's wild. Like, oh, don't just go without me. I'm not gonna be ready. I don't have anything picked out. Just do this, do that, do that. They left me. What? That's a totally different side that we've seen. Yes, Doc, you are 1000% correct. It is all about the money. I mean, Lana brought it up yesterday in her live. If this was truly about answers, they'd be suing Brian Koberger for wrongful death. Now, she didn't put it in that kind of phrasing. It was more of why, but I'm telling you the why. But yeah, especially with everything we've heard about Kaylee, like she's a go-getter. Like she's this, she's that, she's on top of things. And then Ava's over here, like she's pouting that she was left, even though she told her friends to go. Hey, Blue Devil. Well, yeah, because actually, I'm not gonna finish that thought. I'm not gonna finish that cause. But yeah, I mean, it does seem a little. Like I could see. Yeah, that's probably what this is. But I mean, yeah. I mean that's like. I guess that'd be like wild middle child syndrome. But that seems a little passive aggressive, and there might be something that was a little. That was there was something brewing beforehand, is what I'm trying to get to, in way too many words. But anyway, let's see. Let's see.
I'm best friends with Kate. I have such a good relationship with her, and I said Kate is the most reasonable person to talk to about this, and you need to express your feelings about this situation to your roommates and let them know that what they did was shady and hurt you. And she was like, no, I'm not good at confrontation. Like, I don't want to like rock the boat or anything. And I was like, well, you're going to, like, you're going to express your feelings. So when we were talking to Kate,
wait. Who the hell could they possibly be talking about? Katie? Who's Katie? Are they talking about Kaylee McConkey? Like this seems very, very. This is like way out of left field. Like Kaylee's not one to be confrontational. Well, in the Patterson book, she was willing to go head to head with the freaking sorority over having to pay dues at a house they weren't allowed in. So, I mean, So who told Patterson that Kaylee was bullheaded and strong in what she believes? Because that means you're not non-confrontational. If you're going to go against the grain, you're going to be confrontational. Okay. If anybody knows what Katie they're talking about, let me know, because I'm absolutely lost.
I told Kaylee, I said, you just need to be completely honest, and you need to let them know that them leaving you at the house really hurt you. You didn't get to go to the formal. You wish that the communication was a little bit better as to what time they were leaving, what they were doing. And Katie explained that this was kind of spur of the moment, where they were like, all right, let's get a group together and go to Pullman, go to Timber. And I just don't think that they were necessarily taking anybody else into consideration but themselves.
Right.
Which is, it's very common when you're a 21-year-old female, you really are sometimes in a situation where you are only looking out for yourself and wanting to do things for yourself and not really thinking about other people. So in this situation, it wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, that's called being in college. Everybody's out for themselves. They are going to do what's best for them, and everybody else be damned. Now, there are some people who are good-hearted, but typically they get bowled over. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Especially in a situation that's already toxic. At least seems to be toxic. Yeah. Ava's just kind of taking the gasoline and just kind of laying it all down, getting ready to go. Ready to light this candle, baby.
Fairly malicious, and the intent wasn't ill and to purposely hurt Kaylee or to leave her out. I just think that that whole situation kind of got blown out of proportion.
Okay, and that's the last time you saw her, or the last kind of interaction you had with her, that where you saw kind of how she handled a stressful confrontational situation.
Yeah, I would. Yes, that was the last time that I ever saw her upset about something. And then the other conversations, we kept in touch this summer. She called me. It was in June, and she said, I want you to come to my birthday. Is there any way you can get back to Idaho? And I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you when we go back to school. So we kept in touch, brief phone calls here and there, just checking in on one another over summer. And she never had said anything bad this summer. She said she was happy. She was living life. And when we got to school, I saw her before the semester started. I went over to her house, and it was Kaylee and Xana that were home, and she asked me, come with me to go get a tattoo. And I said, I would love to. So me, Kaylee, and Xana went to a tattoo shop in Moscow and got a tattoo. And
do you remember which shop that was?
I don't, but I know the name of the person who gave Kaylee her tattoo. Her name.
Really?
And that was local. You said in Moscow?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what
she got?
Do you know what the tattoo was that she got?
It was on her forearm, right above the crease, of her elbow on the front side, and it was a tattoo for her grandfather, and it was, I think, 3 or 4 words, maybe walk in his steps or something that symbolized her grandfather.
Okay, and what tattoo did you guys get matching tattoos or kind of same?
No. She just wanted us to come with her because she was scared, and she was like, I need help. So that was really the last time that we got to spend, I would say, quality time together. And then the last time.
Wait. Was there? I don't remember there being anything on the. I don't remember there be anything being on the autopsy report about Kaylee having tattoos. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. In the hold on. Relation. Let's see if the voice will actually work. In the autopsy report, is there any mention of Kaylee having tattoos?
I'll check the autopsy report for any mention of tattoos on Kaylee. Yes, the document mentions a tattoo on Kaylee. It reads, "Wish you were here," on the anterior left biceps.
Okay. Okay, so we got that one figured out. Apparently, on the inside bicep. All right. So back over to this one. So yeah, Kaylee, according to the autopsy report, Kaylee got a tattoo.
I saw her was through passing. She had been out drinking at the Whites, and I saw her walking on Queen Road, King Street, or whatever, and I was outside. And I said, "Hey, sis, like, where are you going?" She's like, "Oh, we're going to the neighbor's house. Like, we're just having fun." And she was with Zoe. And at this time, this was a night that the cops were out giving a lot of MIPs or open containers. And I was just like, "All right, Keely, well, I know that you are 21, but you still need to be cautious about an open container. So maybe you should not just be holding an open White Claw walking the street." And she's like, "No, I'll be good." And continued on with her way. And I think that was one of the last encounters that I had with Kaylee. And that was probably in October.
Okay.
Whereas Xana, she was a happy pea 24/7. There was never a time where I saw Xana upset or having issues with someone. I mean, there was probably little things where, please excuse my language, but Xana would be like, "Oh, she's a fucking bitch." But then the next day, they're best friends. Like, that's just typical girl behavior.
Hey, bro.
Other than that, it was just, there was never anything off about Xana. There was never anything that made me question, like, oh, is Xana doing something sneaky? Is she doing something that she shouldn't be doing? Never. Never, never. And Xana was a wild card as well.
What do you mean?
Like to party.
Okay.
She's the perfect angel that pisses nobody off, but she's a wild card. You never know what you're going to get out of her. She's talking out of both sides of her mouth. Here's the thing. You don't end up being as popular as what Xana was without getting somebody pissed off. In a rise to fame, you are going to have people pissed off at you. Like, may not even be Xana's fault. It may be jealousy. But, as many people in these interviews have stated, Xana was maybe the most popular girl on campus. Everybody knew her. Everybody loved her. Well, there were people that didn't. There is jealousy. And especially if you're, as Pistol Pete put it, you got a lot of guys' eyes on you. Well, that's going to create jealousy. It's going to. So, like we've been talking about with Kaylee, a lot of could be some jealousy with Jack. Well, somebody is there's going to be some jealousy from the ladies of Xana. So
she did like to drink at or at her house. She was always looking for something to do to keep her occupied. And last year when I can't exactly recall the address of it, but it is the blue house that shares the driveway with the house that has the porch. That's where Xana lived last year.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
So
I know what you're talking about.
She moved one house over, but like I said yesterday, I spent every waking second of my life over there last year. From sunrise to sundown, I would go over there and wake Xana up for school, to movie nights together, to just simply drinking at her house because that was also another party house. They like to have parties and have people over, and there was never anything that I had to really question about Xana.
Okay. And while you've known them, there was no talking about Xana for now,
Mm-hmm.
did she ever confide anything in you? Any relationship problems? Any, boy stuff?
She would confide in me. So Ethan was her first boy. She never had boyfriends or anything like that. So Ethan was the first person.
Wasn't it Pistol Pete and Mason? Was it Mason Bagman too? Was that Xana's or was that somebody else's? I'm getting, because we know Pistol Pete had a thing for her. There was something there. There was a lot of projection in that one. Okay, so Bagman was Xana's. Okay. No. Ava does not know everything. If you're the mother hen and they know they gotta hide from mother, they're gonna hide from mother. Yeah. So, yeah. Ava's not as credible as what we were thinking.
That she was able to open up her heart to.
Well,
and I remember the day that we were sitting in her bed and she told me, I said, so what's going on? And I said, I heard you hooked up with and she was like, yeah, I did. And I said, well, tell me who. And she said, Ethan. And I was like, oh, you guys were best friends before. I knew that there was some sort of chemistry there, but
sure.
She would always talk so highly about Ethan. And I remember the day when she told me that she was dating Ethan, and she was like, yeah, it's kind of on the down low right now. We just started dating, but I really like him. He's so sweet to me. We get along. I mean, they were the same person, to a T.
Okay.
So that was the only person she had ever dated and loved, and it was very easy. It came really easy to them.
Okay, and no, as far as you know, was there any, did he ever cheat on her? Did she ever cheat on him, slip up, anything like that?
Nope, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
That's why it's so critical that we figure out who the hell this Erica lady is. Was it Pistol Pete on a spoofed phone? Was it somebody else that's trying to get Ethan out of that house? Because obviously there's something that isn't adding up here. Oh my. Oh my. SRB coming with the nuggets. Yeah. Ava's good at talking. At least she's not saying every other word. So I guess I'll give her credit there.
How about Kaylee? Same thing. I know you talked about her.
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever confide to you in boy stuff? Anything?
The only time we really ever talked about boys was Jack.
Dylan said so
but
much I can't keep
nothing
up.
that was really out of the ordinary. Like typical Kaylee behavior, she would get upset about something and blow it completely out of proportion and be like, all right, Jack, well, I'm not talking to you. Like, we're on a break.
Okay.
And Jack was very calm with her, very down to earth, sweetest boy ever. And he would always be like, Kaylee, we need to talk about this. Like, you can't just all of a sudden throw your emotions at me. So they dated for a while. And over summer, I asked Kaylee.
Wait, what? Hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
And Jack was very calm with her, very down to earth, sweetest boy ever. And he would always be like, Kaylee, we need to talk about this. Like, you can't just all of a sudden throw your emotions at me. So they dated for a while. And over summer, I asked Kaylee, I was on FaceTime with her while she was hanging out with my best friend. And I said, so, like, how are you and Jack doing? And she goes, oh, you haven't heard? And I'm like, no. And she goes, Jack and I broke up like 2 months ago. And I was like, oh, like, why? And she goes, kind of the same reason why you and your ex broke up. Like,
hey, Dago, what's going on? If you somehow haven't already, make sure to go over to his channel and subscribe. You got a very fun live coming up at, what is it, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Is it? Where they talk to, I believe it's this week. Tonight is Andrew Myers and Yoli on the verdict room. It's always a very, very interesting. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, all right, let's kind of unpack this. So, when have you ever, Dago, the ladies in here, when have you ever seen a guy say, you can't throw all your emotions at me? Or anything like that, especially at that age. I've never, I've never said that. I've never said, you can't throw all your emotions at me. No, never. No, you can't be throwing this shit at me. That is so not. No way that was said. Not a chance. Jack said that. Well, if one of the mods can grab the link to Myers' channel, you can throw it in the chat. You can't. Yeah. You can't throw all these emotions at me. What is it? I'm just a glass case of emotion. Oh my goodness. All right.
we grew apart. We started becoming more friends than girlfriend because we had dated for so long. And she said it was just easier to kind of focus on myself for a little bit and focus on my plan since I am graduating.
Right.
I know that before it was over summer, her and Jack were still dating, they were talking about moving together, whether it was to Charlotte or Texas or anywhere outside of Idaho. They wanted to move together.
Okay.
But they did have a really good relationship, and he loved her. She loved him. They were honestly, like, they were probably going to get married by the things that she said about him and he said about her.
Okay. And so after her and Jack broke up, when about do you think they broke up?
I would say towards the end of summer, so maybe end of July, early August.
Okay.
Because I know that they were still dating by her birthday, and she is born June. So June, I think 9th or 8th is her birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I know they were still together. So it must have been sometime after that, between July and August.
Okay. And when you guys got back to school, obviously she was still single, right? Or not with Jack. Was she putting herself out there? Was she seeing guys, dating guys?
Not at all, to my knowledge.
Oh, there it is. Liar. Liar, 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 liar. We all know about Mason Barstow. We all have suspicions about others. Kaylee was definitely putting herself out there. The one final hurrah before she goes off to Texas. Ava, dude. I'm pretty sure Ava and Dylan could be freaking twins. I mean, my God, the amount that Ava thinks that she knows and doesn't is insane. And like Dylan talks with that same sort of confidence when she's not talking about the time of the murders. No need to apologize for the truth, Dago. Ava's a moron. She is either lying or she's left out in the dark. Which begs the question, why did Kaylee leave her out in the dark? Yeah, right? Like, this is insane.
No, she was someone who was very content with her life and was content just taking a break from Jack and wanted to focus on her. And she never really threw herself at guys. If anything, if a guy hit on her, she was kind of more so the type of person that was like, oh, ew. Like,
so like
I don't know how she wouldn't express that to this person, but she would always be like, this guy was trying to talk to me and I'm not interested in him, or something like that along the lines. But she never made it known to that person that she wasn't interested.
Okay.
But she was, yeah, there was.
So I guess
nothing.
I'm trying to understand that. So if a guy comes up to her and she or he hits on her or gives her a pickup line or whatever, and she's not interested, I mean, like, does she just?
Her response would be, ha ha ha, oh, that's so sweet, or that's so funny, and try and end the conversation right there.
Okay, but she just wouldn't be like, ew, no, and then walk away? Like,
no, that is not Kaylee. No.
Okay.
Are we sure about that? Because, again, according to Patterson's book, that is the gospel to the guilters, even though we know that there's lies in there. Kaylee was making it very well known at the corner club that her and Jack were done and it was never, ever, ever happening again. And that seems a little confrontational too, if you ask me. Yep. She is making up things to put herself there. That is exactly what Dylan did with the stalking thing, with the stalking allegations that she's making. That she's making.
So she was just nice about it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And she'd be like, I'm gonna go find my girlfriends now. Like, it was nice talking to you, or whatever. Okay. She would never make a negative comment towards someone who was trying to hit on her or whatever.
Okay.
Look, okay. So obviously, like, I'm not saying that Kaylee's her parents, but you do pick up things from your parents. And we know from the G's stories about her, she can be a bitch, and that's fine. She can be rude. She can be mean. So I right. So to say that she would kind of let guys down easy, I don't believe that. I mean, again, we got the middle child syndrome thing going. She's gonna make everything a show because she wants the attention, and that's who Kaylee was. And that's not just according to her parents, but a lot of people that are actually talking true or that seem to be legit when talking about Kaylee. She was extroverted. She was the center of attention. And if she can make a spectacle at some sleazy guy's expense, oh yeah. Oh yes. Now, I could see on the other hand where if it was like a respectful, cheesy pickup line, she wouldn't make a spectacle about it. But it just kind of depends. Just kind of depends.
Okay. And then obviously Xana didn't have any of that because her and Ethan were
Yes.
were together.
Correct.
And as far as you know, very well, very much committed to each other.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know what major either of them were going towards?
So Kaylee was actually supposed to be an elementary school teacher. Like, we were in the same college together. We took the same classes as one another. So she was working towards an elementary degree. However, she not necessarily changed her major last second, but she didn't want to do student teaching, which requires you to be in a classroom from 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So she decided to take, I think, like 2 extra classes to just fulfill her general education and get a basic degree. And I think like general education or something like that. Okay. I know that she passed her praxis, which is the state test to get your credentials to teach in Idaho. So she was on the right track doing everything. She just was like, you know what? I don't want to student teach and I just want to get my degree. And I have my credentials. So if I end up wanting to teach later on in life, I want to do that. She was never really interested in teaching, but that was the major that she picked up on because she prefaced that she wanted to do something within law. I think she wanted to be like criminal justice or be an attorney or do something like that later on in life.
Okay. What? That's a little strange. Why would you spend 3 years trying to become a teacher, pass the thing to become a teacher, and then all of a sudden you cannot? Now, here's the thing, Bubbles. In the TikTok that Olivia posted, Kaylee says that she could not student teach. She didn't want to student teach. She could not. Language is important here. So why couldn't Kaylee teach? According to Ava, she passed everything. So why the sudden shift? Criminal justice? That wasn't even. She ended up doing the rest of her time with IT and marketing, which it brings credence to either because there would be something about her getting some sort of underage or anything along those lines, but there's nothing there. That is a very good question as well. I mean, that gives credence to people who think she was doing some OF stuff or some spicy stuff on the side.
Where did she do her student teaching at?
So she never got to student teach, but she did have to do practicum hours. Is that what you're?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, practicum.
I know that I think she had this one teacher that she made mention to me about, which I'm sure you guys have already gotten information about. It was a male teacher, and I'm not sure if it was at Mc or it might have been I think it was Mom. And she had a male teacher that she professed was maybe a little bit creepy. He asked her to stay extra hours or after school, and since Kaylee isn't the type of person who's confrontational, she would just be like, okay, yeah, sure, that works. He did ask her one time to go out to coffee, and she was telling me this because I told her, I said, you need to email and the placement coordinators and let them know that this kind of behavior is not okay coming from a teacher. So
okay. That is interesting. Who's that teacher? Oh, I remember there was something in the documents that pointed to that, or there was some interview. I know it wasn't Ava, so I know there's credibility to this. I just don't remember where. Damn it, where's Lucy when you need her? But I remember there was something being about a teacher that she was very was it Martha? There was something was mentioned about a creepy teacher. But yeah.
He asked her one day to go out to coffee during their like lunch break or something. And Kaylee was like, okay, yeah, sure. It's like, I'm going to drive separately. And she had made a plan that her boyfriend at the time would be at the coffee shop with her roommates to make her feel more comfortable and just kind of being there watching, but not having this person not realize that they are friends.
Right.
And Kaylee was like, yeah, I'm going to drive my car. And he goes, well, my truck is right here. Like, let's just go. And Kaylee's not the type of person to say no. So she was like, okay, yeah, sure. And they were supposed to go sit down and have coffee together. And I don't know if it was at Starbucks or a local coffee shop in Moscow, but I know that they didn't have enough time. So she said, we just simply got coffee and went back to the school. And she never said anything like of him trying to make a move on her in the car or being creepy with her in the car. She just was like, I think that it's very weird that my practicum teacher, who's a male, is very adamant on wanting to get coffee with me and taking me out to go get coffee. Like, if he wanted to bring me coffee from the morning, like if he was stopping at Starbucks and I was meeting him at the school, sure, great. But to actually go get coffee with me, she said it was very weird.
Right.
So I told her, I said, you need to call Taylor and Rebecca and let them know that this is not okay. And she was a little worried because whoever the placement coordinator is or someone within the educational field has a very close relationship with her practicum teacher.
Okay.
So she didn't really want to rock the boat or make a big deal out of this. And I said, well, Kaylee, if you're not going to...
Okay, so... Okay, so it's ISP 67. Okay. Hold on. I gotta write that down. Oh, damn it. I threw my pen after redactions. Hold on. Oh, there's gotta be something. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. You guys are gonna laugh at me. Hold on. I got colored pencils. I don't know why, but I got them. Go with the red. No laughing. Oh. All right. Now I got... At least I got 12 more things I can throw when I get mad. All right. Moving on.
Say something like you just need to keep your guard up and keep a mental note of some of the things that are bothering you. And that was really the only story that she had made mention of this practicum teacher being weird.
Okay.
Unless you're that WSU professor where I guess that's okay. Oh, more redactions. This one is for about 24 seconds.
And then do you know what Xana's major was?
I believe Xana's major was marketing.
Okay.
How do you not know? You're BFFs.
I know that some of the classes when I would go over there, some of the classes that she was taking was like learning how to do like an Excel sheet or something like that. And she would always ask me for help. And I'm like, sis, I don't know how to do Excel stuff. Like, I cannot help you. But she was always working on homework. And she was the type of person very different from me. If there was an assignment due at midnight that day, she would start working on it at 11 o'clock at night and somehow get it done. Whereas me, I turned in assignments 3 months prior.
Okay.
Ooh,
dang. Wait. 3 months early?
Yeah, I'm a go-getter student for sure.
Whoa. That was a little bit of a side swipe there. That was interesting. I want to make sure I heard that right.
Some of the classes that she was taking was like learning how to do like an Excel sheet or something like that. And she would always ask me for help. And I'm like, sis, I don't know how to do Excel stuff. Like, I cannot help you. But she was always working on homework. And she was the type of person very different from me. If there was an assignment due at midnight that day, she would start working on it at 11 o'clock at night and somehow get it done. Whereas me, I turned in assignments 3 months prior.
Okay. So obviously I didn't go to a normal college. Right? Nerd! Like, there is no way on God's green earth you are doing a college assignment in an hour. Not a chance. So that's a bold-faced lie. You're not doing that, especially on the regular. I mean, with mine, you would have to work on it for days. And this was a lot of different assignments. It was an all-day event. Because I would not only have to. So with mine, I went for sportscasting, and I would have to not only watch the game, get it downloaded, get the game footage downloaded onto my computer, go through, clip out highlights, put those together, voice over the highlights, get some music in the background so it would all look good, and then upload it to the computer, and then upload it into the portal, and that would take a little bit of time depending on how long it was. Like, this was not... College is not something that you can do quickly in an hour. This was an all-day thing.
Okay. Dang, 3 months early?
Yeah, I'm a go-getter student for sure.
It sounds like it. Dang.
That
Yes,
go-getter.
I like to get my things done.
When I was in college, I was a last minute kind of guy. So.
Oh, that was Kaylee as well. Kaylee would.
Yeah, of course you were. Of course. All those ragers you throw, Mr. Lake. Dude, Ava was the girl that you left outside of the club, but you just let her in enough to think that she was in. She had some sort of value, we're not sure what, but Ava was outside the club thinking she was in. And we have more reactions. I think she thought she wore the pants. Like I said, I think Ava was at the fence line. She wasn't in the fence though.
Okay. Moving on just a little bit. Extracurricular stuff like hobbies, parties, things like that. What do you know about Xana and Kaylee? What did they like to do? I guess outside of parties and drinking.
Xana, I don't believe she skied or snowboarded, but during the winter time, it was Xana's favorite thing to do was to sled down Lower 40.
Okay.
Kaylee liked taking her dog out on walks all the time, and since
which is why I'm a little surprised that with the whole what's his nuts? We covered him yesterday. What was his name? Jerry Nadeau? No, that's a NASCAR driver. Doggone it, who was it? Connor. Justin Nadeau. Yeah. I have a hard time believing that Justin and Kaylee didn't know each other, at least to the point where if you're walking by their house and you see that door open, you're going to be like, excuse me? At minimum, Justin would care about the dog. Okay, where's the dog? Is the dog inside? Is everything okay? That would be the minimum you would be concerned about with that door being as open as it was.
A golden doodle as well. They're both the same age. They would meet up.
Hey, Christine.
What I think would be almost
welcome
every day,
in.
if not every few days. Just recently, like within the last couple of months, it was a consistent hangout session for them to bring their dogs, and they would go on walks together or bring their dogs to the park and be able to catch up.
Right.
So Kaylee likes walking her dog with.
Okay.
I don't believe Kaylee was a snowboarder or a skier either. Kaylee, I know, always ranted and raved about her working at multiple coffee shops up in Coeur d'Alene, so she liked making espressos for her friends and doing things like that. But
Okay.
I know that Xana did like to go boating with Ethan's family in the summertime, and she spent a lot of time up with him.
Okay.
I know that Kaylee's, I don't know if it's Kaylee's sister. I can't remember if it was her sister, but she said someone did and raved about her working at multiple coffee. I don't believe Kaylee was a snowboarder or a skier either. Kaylee, I know, always ranted and raved about her working at multiple coffee shops up in Coeur d'Alene, so she liked making espressos for her friends and doing things like that. But
Okay.
I know that Xana did like to go boating with Ethan's family in the summertime, and she spent a lot of time up with him.
Okay.
I know that Kaylee's, I don't know if it's Kaylee's sister. I can't remember if it was her sister, but she said someone, either her sister or someone close to her, recently moved to like the same area, and she was planning a trip to come down this last summer, and she was like, if I do come, like, you should meet me down there. So she was an adventurous type of person. She loved adventure. She loved planning trips and going camping with her friends and doing things like that.
Yeah. Now, like Joe here said, some of these, well, I don't know if he said it or not, but some of these questions are going to be tough, and you know, there's a bit of an underworld, right, in college. What do you know about? Let's see how I phrased it earlier. What do you know about like the dark circle of the group, or the people that they hung out with, or they themselves?
For Xana, there was never a dark circle around her, to my knowledge.
I guess what I mean by that,
her roommate was a coke dealer, allegedly, according to Martha. But yeah, there's no dark underworld for Xana.
Is like, did they
bad people?
Well, did they use drugs? Did they try drugs at parties? Do you know if they had a habit of that kind of thing?
So part of the dark circle would be things that public light is not shed upon.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of that stuff that's a little more on the secretive side, where it might be known through some friends, but not all. It certainly isn't likely shared with family or in their public profile, you know, their public persona.
Okay. I know that last year when I was constantly over at Xana's house, I know she has tried drugs before. I believe she's done cocaine a few times. It was never something that was a regular pattern for Xana, because if it was, I don't surround myself with people of that kind. So
of course you don't. Of course you don't. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This girl would be so left out of the freaking club. What in the world? Yes! Yes! She's the one that has the BS stories. She's the one that makes stuff up as she goes. Oh my God. Yes, she's that. She is the one that we would see on Dateline because something happened to the girl that beat her out for prom queen. It's all right, Dago. Oh gosh, that is.
I would never, ever associate myself with those drug dealers and those druggies. Never. Ever.
Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. This is why you weren't in the club.
She has openly told me, like, I've tried cocaine a few times. I know that Kaylee, I don't believe, had a prescription for Adderall, but she was using Adderall quite a bit and I'm not sure where she got it from, but she would not necessarily abuse Adderall, but she would take Adderall to stay awake and crank out homework or do something. So I know that she has done Adderall before, and I know that Xana has tried drugs before, but it wasn't something that I really ever witnessed Xana doing. I witnessed Kaylee taking Adderall one time, but that was kind of about it. And I don't know if Maddie did the same thing, and I don't believe Ethan was that way either, but I can't really speak on their behalf.
Okay. You didn't know them as well as you knew Kaylee and Xana.
Correct. The only reason why I really knew Ethan was through Xana and through mutual friends before they started dating. So I did hang out with Ethan quite a bit.
Okay.
But it was more so just like at lodge parties where he would call me over to come do his eyebrows or help him with his homework when he was over at Xana's house. But there was never a time where just him and I would be hanging out.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
But it was more so just like at lodge parties where he would call me over to come do his eyebrows or help him with his homework when he was over at Xana's house. But there was never a time where just him and I would be hanging out.
Okay. I miss her. Yeah. His eyebrows. What? 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 Why? Why eyebrows? That's weird.
And are you aware of any? Did either of the girls or any of the girls? Have you heard anything about secret relationships? Anything?
No.
That was on the. No.
And the only person, if Kaylee.
I will say, if you're gonna be doing that and you're gonna let somebody do that, you gotta have a lot of trust in that somebody. Ava ain't the one.
Did have her deepest, darkest secrets. The only person that would have known is Maddie.
Okay. And why do you feel that way?
Because that was her best friend. She was able to tell Maddie everything, and Maddie had no judgment, and Maddie would never go behind her back or do something to jeopardize that secret. Whereas Xana didn't have secrets, at least to my knowledge. She was very open with me, but
Well, something got broken in, what was it, Cabo? When Kaylee was really, really angry with Maddie. True. Yeah. I mean, you think you're being told everything until you find out from somebody else.
If there was something that, just putting this out there, not saying that this is true, but let's just say Kaylee might have been hooking up with somebody and she didn't want anybody to know because she didn't want it getting around Moscow or whatever.
I read it as how
she would have
first.
told is Maddie.
Okay. Since we're kind of in the vein and you brought that up, have you ever heard any rumors like that about Kaylee or Xana?
Nope.
How about Madison? Was Madison hooking up with anyone?
No, I don't believe so. I believe that she had a very strong relationship with her boyfriend. I know that he graduated, but he would come up and visit her as much as possible. But nothing to where a relationship aspect or anything that would be like a red flag that stood out to me for any kind of relationship wise is not in my knowledge.
Okay.
So yeah, Ava definitely wasn't in the know. She thinks she's in the know, but she's not in the know.
So yeah, so you haven't really heard anything negative or bad, and what I mean, and nothing. I guess
Hi, Auntie.
nothing gossip worthy.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to go into social media, but if you're good.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about a little social media stuff. Did they have any? I mean, obviously they have Facebook and Instagram. Were they
Hey,
pretty
McCready.
active on there? Were you friends with them
Welcome in.
on those platforms?
Yes. I was friends with all 4 of them on Instagram. I was friends with Kaylee and Xana on TikTok. I believe I was friends with all 4 of them, if not Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee on Facebook as well. I don't know if Xana had Twitter.
They're literally talking about their social media. That doesn't need to be redacted.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Snapchat, I was friends with Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan on Snapchat. I did not have Maddie on Snapchat.
Okay. Let's talk about Snap real quick. Is that
How does that work for the umpteenth time?
the main form of communication up here? Would you say?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. And oftentimes it's group text, individual text, both.
All of the above. Yep. You
Okay.
can send pictures. You
Yeah.
can send text
Hey, Tandy.
messages.
I am familiar with Snapchat. I'm only 36, so I know.
I'm the old one, and yeah, I'm not familiar with it, so I appreciate the insight.
So,
Well,
yes. So, okay, and then
It's been explained to you morons 11 billion times at this point. This is December 8th. You've interviewed 1,700 people at this point. And they all use Snapchat. They've all explained to you the same way how they do it. And yet here we go again with yet again. And Ava probably explained it to you in her original interview on how Snapchat works. For God's sake.
so on the group chats, like I assume that you guys are using that for communication, like A, for fun stuff, but B, for like party invites, things like that, or basically setting up events. Now I know that on Snap you can set retention of text and photos and things like that, or you can tap and save them. Commonly on your group texts, how long would the messages be in the thread before they disappeared?
Hey, Jesse.
24 hours.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Well, Jesse, I will say, I'm not a boomer. I don't use Snapchat. At least not anymore. In high school, I didn't really use it. I had it, but didn't use it. But after high school, I just never had a use for it. But
To look and see if there was any kind of groups. So there was a group chat that I was in with and this was last year when we were talking about doing
Whatever.
a Secret Santa.
Yeah.
So that was really the only thing that Snapchats were saved in.
Okay.
But, yeah, most of the time you can.
yeah. Well, at least you're not as old as Dago. Dago was talking about the time that he went across the Delaware with Washington, I remember him telling me about that. It was cold.
Either do it where the conversation disappears right away, or you can change the setting to 24 hours.
Right.
Or you can actually save the message in it and it's there forever.
Right. Do you have any messages on Snap between you and Kaylee or Xana that were saved?
I do.
Okay. Anything important that we should know about in those messages,
Worth it.
or is it? And
Nope.
Well, because they didn't make him allocute. They didn't make him allocute because he doesn't know where anything's at. He didn't do anything that night. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They didn't make him tell because they knew he wouldn't be able to tell.
okay. So nothing crazy on there. She didn't like her nor Xana didn't complain to you about anything on there, and you happened to save it or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay.
And then Xana, all we have is pictures together and then one little text message that we used to say towards one another.
What
that was it.
What was that you used to say to each other?
That's why I don't make fun of them.
So okay. Well, I appreciate you going through those.
Yeah.
So
That was on Snapchat. I haven't
Right.
checked DMs on Instagram. I mean, I'm sure Xana and I have.
that's okay.
sent.
That's okay for now. If you want to go look at those later and see if there's anything that you think is important, then when you get back to town in January, we can meet up and get
Because
that
it's
from
Moscow.
you. So would it be fair to say that if people wanted to hide anything about themselves and they needed to communicate about it, it's likely that happened on Snapchat?
Either likely that it happened on Snapchat or it was mouth to ear.
Sure. Yeah, in person type stuff.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. But if it wasn't,
It would probably be in Snapchat.
yeah.
Or possibly, like where Kaylee's concerned, probably a text message to Maddie
Sure.
or through Snapchat.
Okay. Do you know? I know a lot of people are using WhatsApp these days, especially if they have friends and family that may be out of the country or they're on vacation or things like that. Do you know if any of them are using WhatsApp?
I don't even know what WhatsApp is.
Well, that makes me feel good.
I don't know what that is. So
It's kind
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. Yeah, there's no way she doesn't know what WhatsApp is. Not a chance.
of
not confirm nor deny.
it's another messaging app that with settings to erase and encrypt messages type thing. Kind of.
Don't think that any of us would use that
Okay.
unless someone was hiding something. But for me, I don't know what it is. I don't know anyone who's like, oh, do you have WhatsApp? Like, you should get it. Like, it's never been a conversation of that app.
Sure. Okay. Do you think now this will kind of tie into the work stuff that you and I talked about a little bit yesterday with both Kaylee and Xana.
Yep.
Do you know what Xana did for work? Did she work at all?
She worked at Mad Greek. It was very sporadic when she would work.
Okay.
Xana was the type of person that would work and collect her tips for beer money.
Okay.
So I believe that she only had to work for her spending money.
Wait, stop. What do you mean, Dago? Are you talking about stop the video or hold on? What? Hold on. Hold on. I'm check your Discord, Dago, in a second. Because I'm not super familiar with WhatsApp. All right. Welcome in, buddy. How's it going, Dad?
You're still grounded.
All right. Yeah.
Welcome
Welcome in, buddy. How's it going, Dad?
Hang on a minute. I got to shut the other side down.
Yeah. Welcome in, buddy.
Okay, you didn't have to bring me up, but either way, she just said she has no idea what WhatsApp is, right?
Yeah.
Then she turns around right after that and says, well, unless somebody was trying to hide something, I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that actually, yeah. I didn't catch that.
Exactly. Bubblestick caught it too. Like, you don't know it, but unless someone's trying to hide something on what? No. Sorry, kiddo. It don't work that way.
Yeah, I don't really use WhatsApp. I actually never use WhatsApp except for when I was working at the phone store, but
Now, I don't know what it is either. I mean, I know what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't know how to work it. But you're not going to make a statement like, yeah, I don't know what that is. So I can't really speak on it unless somebody's trying to hide something that I don't know. Like, what the hell? You just, in the same 4 words, contradicted yourself.
Yeah, I would have.
That's my only issue with that statement. That's why I said, wait a minute, stop. Hold on. Yeah, Bubbles caught it too. That's what she says. Yet she thinks it could be used to hide things. See, bingo. God, this girl gives me a headache like you wouldn't believe.
All right.
Because she never really made mention about, oh, I'm in financial debt, like I can't afford school or I can't do this. So I think that her dad paid for schooling, or whether it was student loans or something, but the only time she ever needed to work was for her spending money.
Okay, for that dispensable income.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Kaylee, I know that she worked with me as a nanny for the young, to get extra money. Anytime there was a nannying job open or something, Kaylee was always the first one to be like, me, like send them my information. I'd love to nanny.
Okay.
Until she got this internship over the summertime. And I know she had to juggle her schedule with the young babysitting and this internship.
Okay. Going on to the nanny stuff, because I also know that you work for, on the nanny stuff, what was that?
What's up?
I didn't know Ava did the nanny stuff with her.
That seemed like that'd be more of a competition than like helping each other out. Like,
yeah, but that's new info because I never heard that before. Is all I was saying.
Okay.
Sorry, interrupt.
You're good. That's why I brought you up here.
Rate, like how much did you guys make doing that?
We got $15 an hour.
$15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And
most of the time, because the mother worked a full day from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 to 5 p.m.
Welcome
at night.
in, Kim.
So we would be getting paid $15 an hour for, I think, like an 8-hour day. And that was Kaylee's like big source of income last semester in the spring, when we were basically doing like a little tag team, and we had a schedule going between me, Kaylee, and where we would schedule out our weeks, and I'd be like, okay, I'm taking morning shift on Monday, Kaylee's going to take afternoon, Kaylee will have the girls all day on like Friday or whatever it was. So we kind of had a very set schedule going.
Okay, and that was with the and so it wasn't just like you and Kaylee doing it. There was a few other girls you mentioned that,
yes.
that did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and everyone got paid $15 an hour?
Yes.
Okay. And how did they pay you? Did they pay you cash, check, Venmo? Was it always Venmo?
Yes.
Venmo.
Okay.
Why are they redacting Venmo?
And I know that Kaylee was the only one who was in Moscow over summer, so that's why I used Kaylee rather than me, Kaylee, and Bailey. So I know that Kaylee got quite a bit of time with the girls in Moscow, and I know that she sent me a picture on her 21st birthday of her watching the girls. And then I believe on her 21st birthday that night, she went to Pullman with Joe and some of her friends maybe later that evening.
Okay.
When you were coordinating for the nannying or the babysitting, was that primarily through Mrs. Young, or was that through the school? How does that work?
It was through because her husband actually ran into me at the Kibby Dome and said, "Hey, do you like kids?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Want to babysit my kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Like, send me your wife's number." And I called him one night and I said, "Hey, I ran into at the Kibby Dome and he said that you need a nanny." And I went over to her house that night and met with her and instantly fell in love with her family and her kids. And she was like, "So here's the thing, I need a babysitter from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday." And I go, "Okay, don't worry."
Wasn't this the coach that had his phone off during everything that was going on?
I do believe, sir.
I believe he's the head coach now in Idaho.
No, he moved to
No,
I thought he went pro.
He went somewhere else, and that he was a position coach at this time, but I think he came back last year as the head coach. Wasn't it
maybe then I didn't know
like
that. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's the same coach.
They looked at him for a minute too, yeah, I thought he moved over this way too. SRB's right. East Coast.
Oh, because I know there was one coach that was circling this that he went somewhere for a couple years and then he came back and he's the current head coach. Or at least
I
I looked.
You could be right. You're better with sports than I am. I just didn't. Last I heard, he had moved somewhere, like not too long after this all went down.
Yeah, if I knew the exact coach, I'd be able to find him.
Like, I got it, and so I put a feeler out to all my friends and said, "Send me your guys' schedules." And Kaylee reached out to me, Katie reached out to me, Bailey reached out to me, and that's kind of how we got a set schedule going. And I think maybe I met Kaylee beforehand. If not, I think Alicia just felt comfortable and confident in my decision on who I would let around her kids, since her kids are basically my kids now. So she felt comfortable enough being like, "Okay, I trust your judgment in these girls, and if you trust them with the kids, then I do too." So I think one day I came home and it was Kaylee's shift, and that's when they met. And ever since then, Kaylee was just working for her.
Okay. So was it always the kind of that schedule, that Monday through Friday in the morning, or were there times where the young needed a break and maybe a little husband-wife time, so they asked you or Kaylee or the other girls to maybe take care of it at night?
Yep. So there was a few times where Tyler would go on date nights, and I was always a first go-to person when I was in Moscow for date nights and anything like that. So would call me first, and if I couldn't, then she would text the few other babysitters that she had. So I was her go-to person, and then if I couldn't do it, she would send out the feeler to everybody else.
Okay. And, I know from, how people network and
What's up?
He went to Nebraska and then I think Philly. I just
Okay.
saw some stats for him in Philly, but it doesn't. It says that he's gone from Idaho now. So
Okay, so it was somebody else because I know there was a
It's-
second football coach that was kind of, I don't know if he
Ye-
was like
yeah, no,
heavily
you're
interviewed,
right.
but he was talked to.
There was a secondary one. I think SRB just said it too. His name was Tyler Yelk. So pretty
Okay.
sure he might be with Philly right now.
Hey, Pedro. All right.
Giggity.
other things. Did that ever translate into performing that same role for other families, other professors, other people within the university?
Can you clarify that question?
Yeah. Well, it's so. Did the young ever refer you also to to babysit for any of the other university family? Who were some of the other families that maybe you and Kaylee babysat for?
I don't know if I ever referred Kaylee to other people, since I was, like I said, a go-to person. But and there might have been one or two times where Kaylee watched the orals, but I can't be 100% certain. And then I think there was like one or two other families that Elise had sent my contact information to for occasional date nights or spur of the moment, because I also knew I was not a partier. I did not go out. And she was like, it's a Saturday night. It's 8 p.m. I'm sure you can call her. And so people would call me and be like, hey, can you be here in 30 minutes and watch my kids? And I was like, yep, I can.
That was very nice.
It's Thomas Ford is the current head coach. I think he might have been the one.
That makes sense.
Wait. Oh, this is basketball. Hold on. Okay, yeah, Thomas Ford. Yeah, second season. I remember looking it up last year. And then, let's see. Yeah, Jason Eck. Yeah, Jason Eck was the head coach during this time until 2024. And then Thomas Ford took over last year, or 2025.
Kim. Ava's probably the oldest. Where'd it go? Probably the oldest daughter and firstborn grandchild. Her personality and traits. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. She definitely comes off as an only child, spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
You to do so.
Very focused on your schoolwork, it sounds like.
Yeah, and sleep. I'm a homebody for sure.
Well, you sound very dedicated to us, and we commend you. Yeah, that's a great
Hey,
trait
Mikey.
to have special. And I don't mean this in any other way than a compliment, but for your age group, it sounds like you are very driven, dedicated, and committed to your future.
100%. 100%.
So with the babysitting, have you or any of the other gals that did this babysitting and things like that? Real quick, back up for a second. The other girls that you said that would shoot out the information to, yeah. Who can you go? Can you slowly go through their names, because you said them a bunch of times, but it's a little fast in my hand.
Yes. So there was 4 main people. So me and Kaylee, and then there.
Yeah, usually if you're leaving the Eagles to go to Nebraska, you were told it's time to go.
And that was also Kaylee's roommate last year, living at the Whites.
Okay. And who is the other girl?
There's
What did that sound like?
Last year, living at the Whites.
Okay. And who is the other girl?
There's
B.
B like boy?
Yeah, it started with a B.
Okay.
The only one that I know in this case that has a B is Bianca.
Good call.
But I
Good
think that
call.
was Xana's friend. Was that Xana's friend?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, I'll know in a second.
Okay. And how often, like, since you guys are kind of all doing this nannying thing or babysitting, nannying, whatever, whichever one you want to call it. Back to the pay, $15 an hour, paid by event, but basically all under the table, right? Like no formal. There was no
Correct.
like hiring agency that you guys went through. It was all kind of just, hire a young gal to watch the kids and,
Yep, under the table.
It was Kaylee's friend, so I'm guessing it was Bianca that was redacted. I'm assuming it was Bianca.
Cool, perfect. I mean, that's
That's the way to go.
that is the
I
way
don't
to
like
go.
taxes taken out.
Yeah. With any of the families that you guys babysat for, and I don't know if it's you had maybe a couple others. I don't know about the other girls. I'll have to follow up with them. Was there ever any weird interactions with the parents or the parents, the husbands, the wives? Was there ever any weird interactions that occurred for any of the girls?
Nope, none.
Okay, and more specifically, was there ever any sexual innuendo or any type of alluding to participation in
Innuendo.
sex acts or anything of that nature?
Nope.
Okay. And obviously that's a very good, like, it's a good answer for you. Like, that clearly never happened to you, but none of the girls ever reported anything like that to you, or I'm never going to babysit for those people again or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
And I think if something were to happen like that, they would report that information to me and be like, hey, this kind of happened to me. Like, should I be?
They would report that information to me. Okay. That Did you hear that part, Dago?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. You're gonna
I'm
get a kick out.
sorry.
You're all good, Dago. You're gonna get a kick out of this one.
Participation in sex acts or anything of that nature?
Nope.
Okay. And obviously that's a very good, like, it's a good answer for you. Like, that clearly never happened to you, but none of the girls ever reported anything like that to you, or I'm never going to babysit for those people again or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
And I think if something were to happen like that, they would report that information to me and be like, hey, this kind of happened to.
Report that information to me. Not the cops. To me. Your mic's off, Dago.
She thinks very, very highly of herself, doesn't she?
She thinks she's mom.
Yeah, she
That is
girl irritates the hell out of me.
I knew you'd get a kick out of it.
To me,
Very
like,
much so.
Should I be concerned? So nothing of that sort ever happened. And I know that when we were watching the young, Ty was rarely ever home because he was either or it
Yep.
rarely ever
Exact-
home. And,
exactly what Kiss.
She would be like, hey.
What?
Exactly what Kiss Me just said. This girl poops roses. Period.
Yeah.
At least she thinks she
Give
does.
us kind of
Yeah.
a rundown of what we could do for the day, and then she'd be off.
Okay, and so she was primarily the one that would get home while you guys were still there, and then kind of relieve you guys, and then head out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and most of these people that you're babysitting for, are they mostly full?
Yes.
And that's probably because you guys work in the area, and you see them all the time.
Yes, I somehow landed a job within the area and then all these companies were like, "Oh my gosh, you're a babysitter! Like, help me out." And so I was like, "All right, I'll get a team together." And so I got. That's kind of how the whole kid got wrapped into it. And kid got wrapped into it.
Sure. Sure. Were you up here for the final? Yeah, you were up here for the final Vandal game, right? Home game. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. You went to work at 1 and came back till, came back at. Sorry, you worked at 1, got done at 8:30, went home.
And I was home.
Yep. Fell asleep at 11:45, and then you woke up to get water. You were thirsty, and you sent a text at like 2:35 in the morning. I think is what you told me. And then the next morning you wake up at 9:30.
Yep. And then I was just cleaning my house and I was getting ready for a normal Sunday and preparing to do homework that I procrastinated. And then I made some lunch at about 11:50, 11:45. And then I hear a bunch of sirens, and that's kind of when all hell broke loose.
Okay. And did you tell me yesterday that you actually walked outside because you saw some of your friends and you were over there when the police were there?
Yes. So I think it probably was 12:10. I called my mom right when I heard the sirens, and I said, "Mom, I'm freaking out. There's sirens on my street. I'm seeing a launch standing outside in a blanket," and this was before they put caution tape around the house. And I said, "I need to go out there and check on Emma." So before caution tape, before we really knew anything, I ran out there with a blanket, and I was just holding Emma and making sure that Jim and Dylan and were okay. And then I see Jack get out of the back of the cop car and come sit next to me, and I obviously wasn't going to question anything. And when I saw the caution tape go up, I knew that something really bad had happened, and I wasn't going to cry out answers, and I just wanted them to know that I was there for them, and I wasn't there to get answers, and I was just merely there to make sure that they were okay.
I know you want to go off.
I can't. Here she comes to save the day. That's how she makes herself out to sound. Like, Jesus Christ. Let me put a team together. Like she's fucking special ops or something for a babysitting job.
Yeah. I mean, this lady she is the one that you make sure that whatever invitation gets lost in the mail.
Or you just light it on fire. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like this, I wasn't going over there to find information, this, that, yeah. Lady, that's all you've done.
Yeah, this is when
prior to this.
SRB's right. She did her interview with Patterson's investigator for his book and did the whole, I took a blanket out and I just melted it down around her. We were all like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's so... Dude, when I run her interview, I'm going to play the Sandra D song in the background for everybody because it absolutely matches up. They were right.
Yeah, this is insane. Like,
she's so extra. Like, I don't even like using that word, and I have to use it. Like, she's extra, okay? For no reason. Vicky Ward, yeah. She did an interview with Vicky Ward. Go watch that one. It is so, and you can actually see her face. She's so melodramatic. It's not even funny.
Yeah, she was. She was the one that we would, at least when I was in school, she would be the one that we would just flat out make fun of.
I didn't make fun of people. I'd have just stayed away from her because she would have irritated me to the point where I would have wanted to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, over in my neck of the woods, we weren't as forgiving.
Okay.
And then, so we sat out there for probably an hour and a half, and then that's when Tyson, I've got a really close relationship with Tyson,
Tyson.
Tyson Barrett.
Oh, okay.
Because he.
Oh, she's close to the lead
Whoa.
detective. Yeah.
Yikes. Oh shit.
First
That's
name basis there, buddy.
Yeah. That one caught me.
And then, so we sat out there for probably an hour and a half, and then that's when I've got a really close relationship with Tyson. Tyson Barrett.
Oh, okay.
Because he comes into the Kibby Dome almost every day. He's working the games, and so he knows me, and when he showed up to the scene, he saw me sitting there with Evans. Evans also works for the Kibby Dome, and I could see in his eyes that he was looking at me like, holy shit. And he comes up to me and he's like, I'm so sorry. And he goes, do you know anyone in that house? And I go, yeah, I know all 4 of them. And he was like, I'm sorry, like, we'll figure this out. And then that's when he kind of told us, like, you are free to go to the police station. We'd like to, like, question you. And so.
Did you do that?
I did. Mm-hmm.
No, she went to fucking Burger King. Like, what the hell? Seems like a hell of a conflict of interest. You got a guy on the inside, and then he just told you what he's not supposed to tell you. Yowzers.
Do you remember who you talked to?
Oh, I don't. And I don't want to. What's the word?
Assume?
No, body type, like image, like describe someone. But he was, I think, bald and on the bigger side.
Good point, Tomboy.
Like hefty, physically built, like, or like fat. You can say fat. Fat's okay when referencing.
Probably a little bit fat and round.
Okay.
And I believe he was with Moscow PD.
Yeah. Was he in uniform or was he wearing like plain clothes?
He was in uniform.
Okay.
And he had, I know that he, in his office, he had a camera set up recording our conversation. So if you wanted to go back.
Would that be Gunderson?
Fat and round, bro.
I mean, he's not. He ain't skinny.
Gunderson wasn't fat.
He was a big dude, though.
I thought he was tall, but I don't think he was round.
Well, he could look fat with Kevlar on.
Blaker's the one I'm thinking, maybe, or
could be Blaker.
Or I think was it? Yeah, Kiss Me said Casey Green. Blaker's chubby though; he's round. Barrett, I don't remember what Barrett. I didn't think Barrett was chubby either, though.
No, Barrett wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, especially with Gunderson, he could look a little chubby with the vest on.
Maybe, I don't know.
The weird stash thing that he's got going.
Yeah.
Things.
Okay.
Find my interview.
About what time was that on? And was that on Sunday or Monday?
This was on Sunday.
Okay.
And I have the text messages between my mom, but I believe I got pulled into the police station around 2:00.
Okay.
And was released around 4.
Did you get pulled in or did they ask you to come in?
They asked me to come in, and I asked Tyson, I said, do I need to go to the police station? And he said, unfortunately, yes, because you were on scene. Like, we just want to know what you know about this. And I said, okay, like, I'm willing to come give any kind of information that I know about this. And so, yeah, I drove Jack and I to the police station. Decor.
Okay. Okay. What else you got?
Tell me a little bit about the position or the position you have with.
Okay, so they're talking about her teaching job.
This chick kills me. She's got to be one of the most annoying, aggravating ones I've ever heard.
Seems to be an ongoing trend in this case.
I mean, look at her pose, dude. Her pose alone, like, tells her story. Like, as somebody
Dylan's got
said in
this-
the chat, she looks like a Barbie doll with her head turned on backwards. She does.
Yeah. She Dylan has an identical pose in the GoFundMe. It's just not like
Yeah,
it's just
you're
not
right.
Good Lord.
It's a long. What are they talking about again?
6 minutes, and they were talking about her job. This is a 6-minute redaction.
6 minutes, Dougie. Press your own.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're too young for that.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. Keep going.
I was born in 1996.
Yes.
Sounds like a lot. I hope they pay you well.
Followed by another 30 seconds of redactions. Well, you did miss that Ava's good friends with Tyson Barrett, the rent-a-cop from Idaho, and that she really knows nothing about Kaylee and Xana.
Yeah, it sounds like great experience, Ava. It truly does. Anything else?
I think we're good. We've got
Ava, we've got a couple more questions, and we like to do these in person, but you're down there, and we're up here in Moscow right now, camped out at the police department. I don't know if Will and I both identify. We're both with the Idaho State Police. We're both detectives with the Idaho State Police. So
yeah.
But when it comes down to the totality of this and your knowledge and your friendships with these people, who would do this to them?
Honestly, I didn't expect anything like this to happen, especially in Moscow. I know I'm not one to judge, and I believe everyone's innocent until proven guilty.
Could be Lanier. Lanier looks fat. I got your messages. Kiss me. I'm going through them. Could be Lanier. James Fry. Good Lord.
Are we still in a redaction?
Yeah. Kiss Me just sent the MPD roster.
If there wasn't any kind of speculation at all, I couldn't even begin to tell you who I think is responsible, capable of doing something so heinous.
Okay. I want to make sure that the record is partially corrected, because the family has actually been very cooperative, but Jeff has volunteered and submitted his DNA fingerprints and been cooperative. He is actually not in. We generally don't feed any information back, but this is public knowledge that a lot of news outlets have ignored. But who does Jeff hang out with? Because our gut speaks volumes to us, doesn't it? I mean, it's like the hair on the back of our neck, how it stands up sometimes. Our gut is equally as powerful. So you may be onto something there, but maybe it's not Jeff. So who else does he associate with that could also possibly have a connection to these victims, and maybe
Here we go.
maybe be the responsible party for taking their lives in this horrific crime?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just know from people and information that I believe he lived at the, which is the apartment complex right next to both Kaylee, Xana, and I's house, because I live right across the street from them.
The Whites?
Other
Is
than
that what she
that,
said?
I have never personally met Jack before, so I'm not 100% sure who his friend group is, what he even...
She just pointed the finger at Jack DeCour.
Yep.
That is interesting. She's the first one to actually point the finger at DeCour. Everyone else has pointed at Showalter.
Does, what he's studying. Like, I don't even know if he's even a current student. So it's hard to be able to tell who he associates with, rather than if you were to ask me about the band. I know all of the band. I know all those boys. I know Jack. I know exactly who he's best friends with and whatnot. So it's hard to...
Wait, is she talking about DeCour or Showalter?
To give information about...
She said DeCour. She was originally talking Showalter, but then she pointed towards DeCour.
Okay. Anything else, Joe, on that?
No. In your sorority? I think you told us that earlier.
Do you guys go by...
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm new to the whole Greek culture thing.
Who is your closest or brother in fraternity?
Oh, I don't know who our brother fraternity is.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I know that it is known to be extremely close with...
How does she not know that?
Okay.
Those are kind of the three top houses that we like to associate with.
Okay. And I think the last follow-up question
Yeah, that's very odd that she wouldn't know that after being in a sorority for 4 years.
I have is, so I'm sure you've been following in the news and on Facebook the case a little bit.
I try to stay off social media quite a bit, just because there are a lot of speculations and a lot of rumors, and
right.
I don't want it to be a constant reminder while I'm trying to still process everything.
Sure.
But I know a little bit.
Sure. So, and I'm sure you saw the information that we put out about a vehicle.
Yes.
Do you know anyone, or aside from what you may have seen on social media, do you know anybody that drives a car like that?
I do not. I'm very aware of when I am coming and going from my apartment and getting into my truck, of what cars are on my street. And if I'm like, oh, that's a new car I've never seen here like before, it's like, oh, who is this person visiting or whatever. But I pretty much know all of the cars that are residents or belong to residents of that little community. I don't know what cars belong to the apartments of the Queen Road apartments, or if you would say but they have to drive up that street.
I find it funny that half the time they redact the Whites. I find that incredibly interesting.
I can agree. I think I just found her her most recent photograph. I think. Hold on. I'll share it with you.
Okay.
If I can. What the hell's going on here? Hold on. Where the hell did you go, bud? 1 minute.
Oh boy. Dago and his buttons.
Oh, no, I just got some things confused for a minute. That's all. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is her most recent photograph.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. Oh, goodness gracious. That is hilarious. Oh gosh.
Great.
Right.
Anyways, all the time. So if it was like a familiar car or something that stood out to me, I think I'd be able to remember it. Like if it had some sort of graphics or if it was loud, then it would be something I remember. But I don't recall seeing or even know of anyone who drives a white little Hyundai or whatever it is.
Yeah, Hyundai. Yeah. And so how did you get home from the Kibbe Dome that Saturday night? Did you drive? You drove?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you didn't notice any abnormal cars or kind of like what you were saying, how you pay attention to that stuff around you. You didn't notice anything
No.
like that?
Nope. And I got to my apartment and I was on the phone with my dad and he needed my tire size. So at about 9 o'clock at night, I just went outside and was on the phone with my dad and giving him my tire size. And I didn't notice anything weird. I mean, I did hear Sigma Chi's music because I know that they were having a party, but that's like an every weekend occurrence.
Sure. Okay. Well, Joe, unless you have anything else.
No, I'd just like to thank you again. You have demonstrated yourself and through it's one thing when we meet in person, but verbally you've demonstrated yourself as a very driven, very capable person, and I applaud you for your studies and your life choices.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time to share with us about your friends. We're sorry for the tragic loss, but we're doing everything in our power to find the person and have the person held accountable in our judicial system.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it'll be soon. And I do have faith in you guys. And I know that yesterday or the day before was hard. And I had watched a video of Tyson taking the belongings out of that house. And I just wanted to reach out to him and let him know that I admire you and your team's strength of just being able to get this job done, because my ex is actually a cop and he's had to see some stuff that not the average person should have to see, and it's unfortunately more on a daily basis. So I applaud you guys for working through this and trying to find answers, and I hope that this all can come to a close very soon.
Thank you very much. We're grateful.
We appreciate it. And again, if you find anything in your messages between you and Kaylee or any of the other victims here, and you think that they're important, get a hold of me. You have my phone number. Get a hold of me when you get back into town. It's not something that, unless you find something that you think is extremely important. Nothing's too small, but hang on to those until you get here in January, and then we can meet up and I can get those from you and things like that.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good day.
All right. So that was the very awkward interview of Ava Wood.
Yeah.
Two of her close friends, her bestest friends, brutally murdered. Not a tear shed. Didn't miss a beat. No, like brain fog, and I get that it's a few weeks later, but still.
She's one of the Stepford wives, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
robotic. It's crazy.
Yeah. She just liked being the she's just likes being the center of attention. That's
1,000,000%. Without a doubt, buddy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we'll cover the Tennessee stuff tomorrow, probably sometime before the Cup race starts, and then. But anyway, if you haven't already, make sure to like the live, subscribe. Well, do you have any closing thoughts on this, Dago, or you gonna go through it one more time in the cafe?
Oh, I'll probably do it because I always do, but yeah, no comment.
Yeah, my trust level in this lady is very, very low.
She's very assertive. She likes to be involved, and she forced herself into this, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. She. Yeah. I don't. She didn't really add anything we didn't already know, other than she's tight with Tyson Barrett.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
That is very interesting. And yeah, so yeah. Well, if you haven't already, like I was saying, make sure to like the live. If you haven't already, subscribe. And Dago, thank you for joining me on kind of a quick
Of
short
course.
notice on that. I do
Thanks for
appreciate
pulling
it.
me up. Appreciate you.
Thank you to all the mods and any tips that I may have received. That I will definitely be sending out a thank you message to all that have. And make sure to join Dago later on tonight with the verdict room. My brain's scrambled. Where he's got Andrew Myers and Yoli on as special guests.
Actually, I might as well make the announcement here. Andrew reached out to Mikey, and I guess he's having some pretty serious technical issues, so he's going to reschedule for tonight. But we're still going to have the verdict room, myself, Miss Kim, and Logan, and Mike, and we'll still have a great show tonight. So much to talk about. So Andrew's going to be rescheduling, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate, but be looking forward to it when it does happen.
Yes, it'll be coming. No worries, folks. We'll have it. We'll have it soon. No worries. But thanks for having me, Dylan. Always appreciate you, buddy.
Yep. I'll definitely still be tuning into the verdict room. So, all right. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a blast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.